Howdy folks, it's been a while, but yes, I am still here. And as the triple-digit highs take over the Central Valley of Arizona, the car activity is slowed down to a crawl. But I've got another compilation video here, a collection of videos I've shot all throughout the winter at various events I attended all over the Central Valley. Of course, it's classic Japanese cars. And in particular, there was like a little mini Zcar show and a judged event that I took, and I never did put that in a video yet. So I'm calling this, and if anybody speaks Japanese, please correct me on my pronunciation, but I'm calling this one Yobi Buhin, or Spare Parts, because these are all spare video clips that I have, and I'm putting them together. So enjoy. If anyone out there has some collection of classic Japanese cars, 2, 3, 4, the more the merrier, feel free to get a hold of me. I'm still looking to shoot video and interview people and talk about your collections. So definitely reach out. I will do that even in the middle of summer. Arizona Japanese Classics at gmail.com. And we'll get things going with an Autozam AZ1. Autozam is under the umbrella of Mazda, and these were only made a few years, I believe, from 92 to 94, and pretty low production number on these. Somewhere around 4,400 total units were built. Not highly successful. I guess it was kind of a economic downturn those years in Japan, and they didn't really sell very well. It was a 660cc 3-cylinder turbo. Actually had a Suzuki engine, and you could also buy this as a Suzuki Cara, and it fit the definition of a K car, so the horsepower had to be under 64 horsepower. Certain limitations on the length and such, the weight, so they had to keep everything under those specifications, so this would be considered a K car. But these have grown really popular in other parts of the world. And here we have a Toyota 4Runner. This was at the Mesa show, I remember. There were like 400 or 500 cars there that day. The parking lot was just packed, but just a couple of interesting Japanese cars. And I remember finding this one way down at the end. I think this is probably a late 80s model. I'm loving the graphics on this truck. And you can see it's an SR5, which is kind of an upgraded deluxe version. And he's sporting the Stealth Custom Series Toyota wheels there. Just overall a really sharp looking rig, and one that caught my eye that day. Moving right into this Suzuki Samurai. These came with a 1.3 liter 4-cylinder. I think they put out around, again, something like 64 horsepower. And I was actually talking to the owner of this little rig here, and he was trying to sell this, It was up for sale. I'm not sure if he ever found a buyer for it or not. But you can see on the inside, just very sparse, just very kind of plain, just your basic gauges, some flat seats, a little bit of cargo room back there, but you know, more of just a little kind of fun get around town utility type vehicle. You're not going to do any serious hauling with this thing, but they do have a following, and you know, there is a place for one if you don't have real heavy duty needs, and they certainly grab people's attention. Samurai. And another compact utility vehicle, only this one's a lot more well known and most likely worth a lot more money. This is a Toyota Land Cruiser, and it is in exceptional condition. The paint is really nice. Somebody is I'm guessing somebody's restored this, but it presents extremely well. I can see just from the back paper tag there, this is a 1974 model, and as you can see, it's extremely clean inside and out. And these are worth some serious coin nowadays. And of course, the Toyota marquee is, you know, one of the most popular in all of Japan. So finding one in this kind of shape, it's gonna cost you. And this is that little Zcar meetup I was talking about. This was put on by the Desert Z Association up in Fountain Hills. And you can see there is a brand new Heritage Z. But this was actually a mini judged event. I think we can count the cars as we go down the line here, but I think there was like 12 to 15 different Z models, all different eras. All the way back to 1970 and then up through, as you saw, that new one there. But it was a judged event. They handed out little judging slips to everybody, and it's just nice to see these cars all together in one place like this. I mean, we're talking about one of the most iconic sports cars that ever came out of Japan, and in all different shapes and in condition here. Like some of these are concourse condition and some are just driver condition, and that's the great thing about a show like this. And you don't have to have a perfect car to come out to these events, and I think that's, you know, what I would like to convey more than anything is if you have an old car and the paint isn't great or the interior is ripped up, just bring it out. You know, it's more about getting out with the people and associating with the people in the car world. Don't worry about how your car is not perfect or, you know, it needs all this work. As long as it'll make it to point A to point B, then by all means bring it out and come out to these car shows. You know, we only have about 8 months out of the year when we can get out with good weather. So it was good to see all these Z cars out. This 300ZX Turbo, I think, was one of my favorites. It's the paintwork on this. I mean, I just said don't worry about your paintwork, but this thing, you know, a black car, every little scratch shows up, and this thing was just dripping glossy. It's just really reflected like a mirror. I know you know, a pride of ownership is coming through on this car, and it's just one that really stood out to me. It's got the offset hood scoop there. Like I said, this was a turbo, and yeah, I think probably my favorite one, although I like the orange first gen as well right here, because I've said it before on these videos, an orange car from the 70s, and I'm a sucker. It doesn't matter if it's a Honda or a Datsun or a Mazda. It's just something about that my mind flashes back 50 years ago. But you can see the engine bay on this car. He's got his Hitachi SUs all shining. This is one of the nicer cars as well. Even the interior is really redone and nice. But like I said, even if your car is not perfect, we still love to see it out here at these events. And the more the merrier is the way I see it. There's another one of those little accessories on the rear bumper. I don't know what that's for. I can't imagine it would provide very much protection. Maybe brush your suitcase or something up against it, but I mean, there's no way that little bar is going to stop an impact. But yeah, bright orange Zcar. I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that. So this would be a good time to make an announcement. Once a year, Zcar owners all over the world, they will come to the International Zcar Convention, or ZCon. And this year, it is happening right here in Arizona, specifically Mesa. And it's kind of a big deal because, you have people that will travel all over the country, even from out of the country, and we have it here right in our backyard. So I would encourage you, go to zcon.org, and they're going to give you all the information you would need to register. There's an itinerary of all the events. They have track days. There's going to be a tour of the Nissan testing facility. There's car shows. There's more than a dozen different events, and it's all a la carte. Like a basic registration will get you into a lot of it, but the extra add-ons, you can pick and choose which ones you want to do and which ones you don't. So zcon.org, it's going to be September 21st through the 26th. Here, Mesa will be kind of the home base, the Sheraton in Mesa. So check it out and get involved, because that's going to be a good one. And you saw that front license plate. This Zcar took Best First Generation Z at the Route 66 JDM Classic last year up in Williams. You can see everything spit and polished and yellow zinc plated. And the build date on this, February 1970, so this is pretty early production. I know 1970 were the first years they came to the U.S., so this is a pretty early one, all things considered. And taking that first place up in Williams, that's a big Datsun turnout at that show, so there's some stiff competition, but you can see why. This paint, again, it's another one of those mirror finishes. And while we're talking about the Williams show, if you're not familiar with that one, let's go ahead and make an announcement on that one. This year it is October 3rd, always the first Saturday in October, the Route 66 JDM Classic in Williams, Arizona. This is for all vintage Japanese cars over 25 years of age. This will be the 15th year Greg and Becky have been doing this show, and it keeps getting better every year. And what makes this year a little bit more special, it's also the centennial of Route 66. So if you haven't heard by now, there's been all kinds of activities up there all along Route 66 from Chicago all the way to Santa Monica. It was originally completed 1926, so this is the 100-year anniversary. And Arizona still has one of the longest remaining stretches of that original mother road. It goes out of Seligman. And actually, if you're familiar with that Pixar movie Cars, it's kind of based around Seligman, Arizona. And so it's just going to make the show that much better. October 3rd, you can go to Route66JDM.com, get all the information there. It's for a good cause, the Encircle Families charity right here in Arizona. So Absolutely. There's another great show coming up this fall for us here in Arizona. So we got to take advantage of these events while they're here. And I was talking to the owner of this car. He's had it for a very long time, and actually he appeared in Sports and Exotics magazine a few years back. A journalist came out and interviewed him, took pictures, and kind of a claim to fame there. This is a very original car. I can't remember now what year he said he got this, but he's been the owner for quite some time now. And there's another one of those rear accessory bars, dealer installed accessory there on the back bumper. So yeah, protect your tail light lens, I guess. And that's gonna wrap up another one. If you got a collection of Japanese cars and you want to talk about them, hit me up. My email address is in the description. Until then, stay cool.